1. Okay. Three, two, one. Okay. Okay.
Good evening, everybody. Before we get started, as always, I want to give a shout out to the lovely music we've been listening to during pre-stream here. This is Dreamer by Deuscain DP. You can find their information in the lower left-hand corner of the screen. Thank you to Deuscain and everybody like that makes it free to use or low-cost assets for us streamers so we can have better streams. Thank you very much. Hello, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever it is in your part of the world. I am Deuscain, your variety tape streamer for the night, and tonight we're just gonna hang out and chat. I don't really have anything planned. I actually did so much editing this weekend that I was going to bed Sunday night, and I'm like, I got so much done today. Closes my eyes. Oh crap, the schedule. So I may have been scrambling a little bit on Monday trying to figure out what to do for today. And honestly, a big part of the Just Chatting was I'm like, man, I got so many good clips out of the last Just Chatting stream. I should do another one of those. That's smart. So we're doing it again. Purely for the memes and the clips. But yeah, I hope you're all having a good Tuesday night. It is Tuesday, right? I'm not weird and crazy. No, it has to be Tuesday because my apartment complex had like a resident dinner thing they paid for us. Yes, I got free food tonight. It was okay. Wish they had dessert, but usually they have ice cream, and the ice cream would have been melted tonight. It's hot. The weather is not kind to us this year. Not kind at all. I hear some folks in Texas have been without power for a little while, a couple of days now. So hope they get their stuff situated and fixed soon. I hear the Texas power grid in general is not very good. So hope they can get that fixed. They're usually a bit more concerned with the border, but you know, with as much as those people probably want to put an electrical fence at the border, you'd think they want to get the power grid working properly so the fence works properly too, but who knows. Anyway, that's a bit too much. That's a bit too close to politics. I will try and hold back on that. But yeah, I hope you're all having a good day, good week, good whatever it is. I'm doing okay. Work has been not terribly successful. For those of you following me on Twitter, I spent the better part of yesterday just trying to get a hold of one guy who called in and reported an issue to like our first response team, and they're like, okay, great, let us troubleshoot this with you. And he's just like, no, I don't want to. Okay, well then give us your contact information so that when we escalate this ticket to another team, they can call you. Goodbye. And he just hangs up on them. Like, dude did not work with anybody, did not leave his phone number. I was playing catch up with him. I was playing catch. It's not catch. Was it catch? Playing phone tag with him. There we go. Playing phone tag with him like all day yesterday, because the guy just would not answer his phone. I even went so far as like send him a text message. He didn't answer that either. So I don't know. I don't understand what's going on with that guy. I finally got a hold of him today. Figured out what the whole problem was in like 5 minutes. Like maybe less. I'm like, yeah, this is what the problem is. This is how we can fix it. This is how we should fix it. Can I please do the should fix? And, you know, we'll see how that goes. I am inclined to think that it's not going to go very far based on another conversation I had. But one can hope. One can hope. Oh, man. But otherwise, I'm doing okay today. Could always use a little bit more sleep, as always. But I'm done with Elden Ring and the DLC. I'm playing something quiet and small on my own time, and I got a couple visual novels I kind of want to jump into. I don't know. It's a weird thing where, like, you ever have a game that you really want to play, and then or not even a game, but just there's something you're like, I want to play this, I want to engage with this, the moment I start engaging with this, I'm not going to put it down. So you put it off and you put it off and you put it off for like weeks. And then when you finally do engage with it, you're like, yeah, no, I was right. This is addicting as heck. So I have that with a couple pieces of gaming content right now. Stuff I can't unfortunately play on Twitch, but I'm just like, I really want to see what this story has to say. And apparently what it has to say is, you are terrified of it eating your life, Deus. You are terrified of that. So. A little self-hydrate here, because boy, oh boy, it's hot. What is the actual temperature in my area right now? Let me go grab my phone. Okay. The current temperature is 93 degrees Fahrenheit, which is and the high was 97. So to convert that into the rest of the world units, the current temperature is 34 Celsius and the high today was 36. It's fucking hot. Place where I live has very humid weather too, so it's hot and humid, and it's just unpleasant. And all the adults are just like, life is suffering. Life is suffering and pain. And the kids are just, because there were kids at a thing I went to tonight, and they're just like, can I stop eating dinner and go back to playing? And I'm just like, they're like, kids, it's free tacos, and they're good tacos. Eat your tacos. The parents are like, we're not even going to try and make them eat the tacos. We're giving them rice and hoping they eat anything. So I watched two families fight with their kids to just get them to eat anything other than, and eat anything and do anything other than play. And it's a stark contrast to some of the stuff that I have in my life, because I will 100% take a break from things to eat. Food is good. Food is good. So there's a bit of a disconnect between me and the children I saw tonight. They're just like, no, I don't want really nice tacos. I want to go hang over the seat of a swing and just throw myself back and forth of the world endlessly while kicking my legs. And I'm just like, child, you are built different. I probably was the same myself at some point. So, but that's kind of the biggest recent news. Though I did make a big purchase this month, not for stream, but for me. I got myself a present. So I was chatting with somebody this weekend about a webcomic. I think it was during one of my streams, actually. A webcomic referred to as The Adventures of Dr. McNinja. You see, he's a doctor who's also a ninja. And it's great. And it was like a core part of my young adulthood. Not even young adulthood, because that's like teenager. That's teenager without calling it teenager. Like my 20s. I read this series religiously. I picked it up like 3 chapters in, and it's great. And it did its course. It finished. And the guy who wrote it eventually moved on to write Deadpool. He's a Deadpool writer now, best I heard. And the comic was up on the website for a very long time and has since gone down. The website's just completely down. So this weekend, I'm like, okay, I have one of the 4 books he published. Let me go on Amazon and see if I can find the other 3. I fucking found them. I found them. That's me twisting my head in a weird way. That's... Huh. But I found them. I found the other 3 collected volumes that he did. And one of them showed up already. I got that on Monday night. And the other 2 should be showing up next week. Hey, Ravi, I'm having an alright stream. Just started a little while ago. How are you doing? But yeah, The Adventures of Dr. McNinja. Wonderful part of my young adulthood. Hilarious story. Really good jokes. A lot of fun humor. Like, literally, there's a story in it just called Punch Dracula, which is exactly about what it says on the tin. And Punch Dracula is an amazing story. You're tired about to help carry your friend through some of the Elden Ring DLCs. Ooh. Yeah. You're doing the Lord's work, Ravi, because that DLC does not fuck around. Though, I saw some people share a video today of someone doing a rune level 1 clear of the final boss of the DLC. They sounded bored. They were fine. There was no panic. There was no screaming. They were just calm. Dude would swing at them with a giant ass sword, and they would just go boop, parry. And it was a fucking brutal, absolutely brutal takedown of that final boss. Greater man than I think it was a woman. The one I saw was a woman. And I was talking with some other friends in another Discord server, and we're all just like, okay, it's impressive, but the way they sounded so bored by it is actually incredibly demoralizing. Because I struggled against this boss so hard. And the other friends in that server were like, me too. I was on it for 3 hours. I was on it for 2 days. I'm like, they made it look easy. We're all bitches. So, yeah. It was not my happiest moment as a gamer, seeing somebody else absolutely raffle stomp it. Give me a hard time to admit I can't parry worth a damn in my roll main. Yeah, I tend to block and roll rather than parry. In fact, I prefer shields that have no skill, so it lets me use other skills on my weapons. So, yeah. But my friend, somebody in that Discord server, Iris Bloodblaze, who I have shouted out here before, she's a roll main. She doesn't block, she doesn't parry, she rolls. And she struggled against that boss. She finally took it out last night in this epic showdown. I'm actually going to shout her out here. One of your people. Yeah, she did this epic showdown against the final boss of the Elden Ring DLC last night. And she won through a cross counter. They killed each other at the same time, or like slightly. She might have died first, and then her mimic like did last hit the end boss. And she's like, wait, does that count? Does that count? I don't. And then you just see this message, you acquired remembrance. And then she respawns to the grace, and the golden gate is gone. And we're like, you wanted to beat them before 100 deaths. That was number 99. So she actually did it. She cleared it. She cleared the end boss in less than 100 deaths. But, oh, she was having a night. She was having a rough night. Because she's mostly a skilled fighter, like an Ash of War fighter. And she mostly prefers, like, blood. So it's like multi-hitting attacks that are meant to do a lot of bleed damage against a boss that basically the moment you poke them, they're just going to turn around on a dime and shit on your entire life. Had to change up your entire playstyle. I was lucky and went into the fight with a playstyle that was very easily adaptable to the end boss. So I didn't need to respec. I didn't need to change anything. I needed to not summon the helpers. But otherwise, I was fine. Poor Iris. Poor Iris went in there with the Mesmer Spear and was trying to do the full, like, 5-second combo. And he was not having it. He was not having it. And she was so upset about having to unspec from the Mesmer Spear. She really wanted to use that. She really did. And it did not let her. It did not let her use that at all. And I feel so bad for her. She wanted that so much. But she did finally take him down. I think she was using Milady with a bleed Ash. And it was specifically, I think it was Blood Tax was the name, where if you use the skill to deal damage, you can regain a little bit of health. Unfortunately, he just deals significantly more damage than that skill will recover. But it is a good skill for getting through like regular enemies. But Yeah, poor Iris struggle bust against that man for over 3 hours, and she eventually got her epic victory. Fingerprint Great Shield, Rotten Great Axe on the back, on my back for my Mimic. Okay, that'll work. I don't remember the Fingerprint Great Shield. Oh, that's the one that's just like a brick of stone. Oh god, that's like the heaviest shield in the game, or close to it. Jesus, yeah, that'll work. I use the Blasphemous Blade from Rykard, mostly for the Ash of War. I use the like golden shield from the Lanedale Dragoon Knights, like the Ancient Dragon Knights, mostly because it's a good heavy shield that also like has really good guard block, and I mostly use that just to deal with the phase 2 AoE because it hits so damn hard. But most of the fight was me hanging back and just using Taker's Flame to just tap from a distance, and the moment he would turn around and start coming at me, I would like step back and allow my Mimic to regain aggro and then just go back to shelling. Fat rolling on the 20-bit combo, I just had to pray sometimes. Yeah, he does that sometimes. Like, he will just go airborne and throw rocks at you and then Omni Slash at you. And then the moment he stops doing that, he starts charging the AoE. And you're like, are you fucking kidding me? That's really a big part of why I just use the shield. Because I'm just like, if I try and get away from your AoE, I'm just going to eat shit. And I'm going to be on the other side of the arena. It was not viable for me. That I think I had over 70% holy resistance on just myself, and then like another 30 to 50% from my shield, and I still took a truck ton of damage. That boss does not mess around. So seeing somebody just lazily kill that thing like they're bored, just that wouldn't hurt my pride. That wouldn't hurt my pride. But yeah, Ravi, good luck with you helping out your friends. I hope y'all take out some of those bosses. Watch one today where the person got killed, then got grabbed, and it brought them back to 1 HP. Oh, nice. That's a weird glitch. That's a weird glitch. Iris kept having moments where he would kill her in phase 1, and then whatever allies would do enough damage to push it to phase 2. And then the cutscene would trigger, and she would spawn into phase 2, and then just like immediately fall to a knee and die. And she's just like, why? Why won't you just detect this and let it end? But in the end, she actually she got her victory because the game didn't just go, oh, you're dead? Time to reset everything. Good on her. Yeah. Like, I think she would have wanted a better victory. I think she wanted one where she felt a little bit more in control. But that being said, she's going to fucking take this one. She's not going to call shenanigans. She absolutely wanted to make sure she did not hit 100 deaths. And she barely managed to get out from under the wire. And I'm so happy for her to have that. Because it reminded me of a movie I saw a long time ago called Tin Cup. I'm not sure if anybody has seen it. But it's a golf movie. And one guy kind of goes from being like I want to say shooting range. That's not right. Like he's a golfing instructor basically, and he goes from that to like going back and recompeting in tournaments at the encouragement of his friends, and he's finally in like I want to call it the U.S. Open. I don't know if that's right, but he's in like this big golf tournament, and he gets down to the last hole, and he's doing really well. And he's basically like, if he basically has got a guaranteed win for this tournament. Like if he can get it in the hole in 2 shots, which is very easy, he will win the whole thing. If it takes him 3 shots, he will tie the whole thing. And instead he's just like, but if I shoot it across the whole course and get a hole in 1, No one's ever finished that low before. I've got to try it. And he does, and he misses, and he misses, and he tries again, and he misses. He tries again, and he misses, and he does that so many times. And like one of the last scenes in the film is like the announcers kind of just like lamenting just how badly he's doing, and him just throwing this whole thing away. And then he takes a shot, and it's perfect. And he gets it as a hole in one, and everybody explodes, and everybody's so happy and cheering for him. And his girlfriend runs up, gives him a hug, and gives him a kiss, and she's just like, "Yeah, that was amazing." And he just kind of looks at her, kind of like tired and staggered, realizing what he'd done. He's just like, "I just threw away the U.S. Open." And she's like, "Oh, who the fuck cares? Nobody's gonna remember who won the Open next year, but everybody's gonna remember you're 12, like, because it took him 12 shots to get it in." But he's just kind of this living legend of what he did to succeed and win. And that's my work phone buzzing again. Give me 1 sec to check that, everybody. I'm going to tap BRB. Okay, I'm back. Don't recognize the number on that phone. Don't know who it was. It's probably just a spammer. For some reason, they really got that phone number, and they're just having a field day with it. Like, I got the phone, and I had like spam text messages on it already. So yeah, it's just a mess. Thank you for the welcome back, Robbie. They do it for your work phone all the time. They must like trade around work phones or something like that, because I don't know. I do know, like, well, you work in like IT, I think, right, Robbie? Like, as people who work in IT, I can say for certain there are people who do not know how to use a computer, should not know how to use a computer, and when they fuck up and they come to IT and they're trying to be like, make it your responsibility to fix their fuck up. Like, I remember at my last job, a guy being like, "Hey, I want you to remove me from this mailing list." I'm like, "Yeah, sure, we can take care of that for you." And I check, and it's like the mailing list for like ESPN or some shit like that. I'm like, "What are you talking about, remove you from this mailing list?" He's like, "Well, I hit unsubscribe and it won't unsubscribe me." And I'm like, "You realize you used your work email account to sign up for non-business related things, and that's a violation of IT policy, and you can be written up, disciplined, and maybe even fired for it, right?" He's like, "Well, yeah, but when you unsubscribe me from this mailing list, that should take care of it." I'm like, "Listen here, you. No, that's not the point of this whole thing. The point of this whole thing is you done fucked up. Just mark it as spam and move on with your day." "Well, then, yeah, but then I get these messages about it got caught in the spam filter and I should review it, and I don't want to have to deal with those messages." Then go back 8 years before and never sign up for ESPN on your work email. You idiot, you. And some of them, God, they just don't think. They're just like, "Yeah, but I want this at work." No, you want this on your personal phone, and you want to keep work stuff separate. Because otherwise, that would be dumb. Oh. My goodness. But yeah, this just, some people are just absolutely clueless when it comes to anything about like work-life separation. Your state has a huge law on that. Yeah, I think my state probably has several laws about that, and people are just stupid. Like, people are really dumb. My old job used to be doing tech support for government employees, and I literally had a guy call in one time on a recorded phone line and explain, he said he was having slowness issues and his computer was locking up, And when I asked him to explain what he was doing with it, he's like, yeah, well, I go to these websites and I watch these sports streams. I'm like, motherfucker, we're recording this phone conversation. You heard the message. I know you did. Why are you telling people that you're looking at garbage shit on your work computer? Like, no. For God's sake, don't even make the call. Like, if you can't get to the fucking site, don't call IT and be like, hey, I need help getting to this site. It's not part of your job responsibilities. Don't call and bug IT about it. You idiot, you. But stuff like that would happen all the time. There's always somebody just doing something dumb and just not considering the consequences of their actions in any way, shape, or form. Sometimes to come to comedic levels because they just did not fucking get it. And oh boy. But yeah, aside from Elden Ring DLC stuff, Dr. McNinja, it's been a relatively quiet week so far. Work has not been super busy. We finally have like a lull now at work because we were super busy for a long while, and now it's kind of quiet. I'm just sort of taking that time to just kind of breathe. I got one for you. My current boss got in a lot of trouble. He had to access something, so he called security. The guy on the security team literally told him to go around the... Ooh! Yeah, don't. Yeah, no. Don't bypass IT security to try and access stuff. Super bad, is it? I got one better for you. Well, it's not better, but it's not a contest, but I got one on the same level. My last job, I found out from a customer that apparently our team of people that were supposed to be installing software, like in our enterprise environment, which for those you wonder what an enterprise environment is, enterprise is the entire thing, like every department, or in my case, like every government agency. The team that was responsible for doing like enterprise software installs for us had basically had 100% turnover rate. Everybody left. They had to bring in a whole new people and train them up, and the people who trained them didn't do a good job because the one guy was literally telling customers to go and install their own software and sending them admin passwords to do it, and not just, hey, go install this software, here's the admin password. Go install this software, here's your admin password. No. He did a list of 6 people, listed all 6 computers, and listed the individual password, username, and password combination for every single computer. And he's like, hey, these will work for a week and a half. Do your software installs and let us know if we need this stuff. Like, it was so bad. And hey there, you're that nice fellow I rated on Saturday for Tavern Talk. Is it Sean Riel? Looks like Sean Riel. Am I saying it right? Yes, sir. Had that happen to our Apple accounts too, and I mined you hundreds of devices. We had to touch each and every one by hand. Yeah, but yeah, in this case with the one with the admin passwords, I reported that to my manager, and he's just like, I don't understand. Isn't that like when we have like an Adobe product, people have to sign in to activate it? And I'm like, no, you idiot. They're giving end users full administrative access on their computers for a week and a half. So I went around my boss and went to the security team and explained it to them. And they, like, I had to explain it once. And they're like, yeah, no, that's a problem. That's a huge fucking issue. Do you want us to say something to them? I'm like, please, for the love of God, yes. Please do that. It's terrible. It's just... people who just, some of them, like, it's a mix of things. Like, sometimes people were just trying to find the road of least resistance to get something done, and they don't care if they're breaking rules to do it. They don't even understand the rules in the first place or how things work. Sometimes people just don't care, and that's really bad when you have those people like having administrative rights, and they get rid of the problem people early. To any of you who are in any kind of management positions, find the dumb ones and remove them. You will save yourself time and trouble. Ugh. Yeah, those are, God, I have such bad IT stories sometimes. Let me share another one since we're on the topic of like IT stories. So I once upon a time got a call from somebody in one of my government agencies' legal departments. This is a lawyer. They called me up and they said, "Hey, Deus, I'm going to leave government employment at the end of the week to take a job in the private sector. I'd like to take files and documentation with me. What's the procedure for taking government documents with you to a new job in the private sector?" Now, I know the answer to that, which is everything you do at work belongs to work. It's not your property. You don't have the copyright on it. It is works. You can't take it with you, especially when it's government. You can't take it with you. I also knew I wasn't going to win an argument against a lawyer. So I believe my response to her was something to the effect of, "I'm sorry, but I don't remember the details of any policy like that at this current time. Let me talk to my manager, and I'll have him get back to you with the details." And she was, "Oh, thank you so much." Because I knew I wasn't going to win an argument. I'm not going to beat a lawyer in an argument, and the best I would hope for is to get her to agree with me, and then she'd hang up the phone and do it anyway. She'd like plug in a flash drive or something. So I referred it to my boss and somebody else that was up the chain that also was a real hard ass. See, Ravi? Yeah, no, Ravi. First of all, it's not a BS answer. I don't remember the details of a policy like that because there isn't one. So I'm not even lying. It's not even bullshit. It's the truth. I don't remember the details of the policy. And better still, my boss was a former military drill instructor, and I like his odds of winning an argument against a lawyer. I delegated up the chain to my boss, and it was the best decision I've ever made in that job. Oh my god. But yeah, they basically both wrote back to me. Both the people I sent that email to wrote back to me like, "Yeah, that's not the policy. We'll talk to her. We'll take care of it." I'm like, "Okay, thank you. I'm so innocent and dumb. Teehee." And secretly, I'm like, "Yeah, do my work for me. Yeah." Oh my god. It's delightful. I like to use, "I'm not aware of how to resolve this or the correct response. So let me get to somebody who can help you. Here you go, boss." That works too. I don't like lying when I can help it. If at all possible, I like to tell them the truth. Oftentimes, you can kill a man with the truth. Like, take that guy earlier who was like trying to watch like sports streams on his work computer. Like, I just told him the straight and honest truth and got him to back down with just pure honesty. I said, "Oh, yeah, I don't think that's an error. I think that's happening intentionally. I heard some stories about how they were cracking down on people using streaming services on their work computer. Don't worry, though. We can unblock that for you if you want. However, in order to do that, I'd need you to submit written paperwork indicating the business reason for your access to the site, and also we would need an email from your manager providing their approval to get it unblocked." And the guy could not back down fast enough. He's just like, no, that's not that big a deal. You don't need to do all that. And I'm like, "Oh, really, sir? I don't mind. I have to write up paperwork for the call anyways. It's no extra work for me to write it up one way versus the other. And he's like, no, that's perfectly fine. I would like to retract my my request for help. Here you go. As someone who got hit with a virus flag for looking at hunting and turkey websites. Yeah, I definitely had somebody call me up because the printer wasn't working and they were printing out instructions on how to like butcher and gut a deer in the woods. I've definitely gotten that call. Those guys were, I think, at like a power station too. It's like, this has nothing to do with your job. Why are you printing this at work? No, I'm deleting your print job and telling you to go fuck yourself. That's what you want to say. But no, I was not allowed to say that. I had to fix the printer. But I did have a time when I had a virus on. We had a small group of police officers that like supported the government buildings, and I got a call for them one time, or a ticket for them, where they had a virus on the computer, and it was a nasty one. Like, I remember seeing it in emails a few weeks earlier saying like, this thing can take down a mainframe, get rid of it as quickly as possible. And I went down there and I was backing up that guy's files. I found this cop had a copy of the soundtrack to 50 Shades of Grey on his fucking work computer that had a virus. I'm like, I know how you got that virus, buddy. Hey Barry, you come to say hi and lurk? Well, thank you for dropping by. Have a good lurk. If you want to, I do have a lurk message if you want to see that. Just type !lurk and you get the little lurk message, and I tuck you in and wish you a good night. I assume you're playing more Final Fantasy 14 because yeah, Dawn, is it Dawn Trail, Dawn Rider, Dawn Master, Dawn of the Final Fantasy, Dawn of the Finalist Fantasy? I don't know. But yeah, it's the final dawn of fantasy. Yes. Oh man. 50 Shades of Virus. Exactly, Sean Real. 50 Shades of Virus. Oh my god. And that might have been, it was either that guy or somebody else that had a virus, and I was just about to wipe his hard drive. And he's like, no, wait, stop. I didn't get my pictures folder. I'm like, why would you need your pictures folder? You shouldn't have anything important in there anyways. He's like, no, I've got 10 years of building schematics in that folder. I'm like, why the fuck is that the only place you have those? Why is that the only place this exists? We gave you a network drive. Put them there, you idiot. People are so afraid of network drives. I don't understand why. It's a place to back it up. Like, I understand putting things on your desktop because you're like using it regularly, but once you're not, get rid of it. Put it somewhere else. I think I'm just built different because I am absolutely the type of person who super loves things being organized. Like, I have my desktop on my home computer organized. My phone is very organized. I get rid of notifications on my phone. I don't sign up to notifications for every single thing. Like, I'm very organized, and I have literally seen people who are like, yeah, I turned off the snap to grid from my desktop so I could fit more stuff by putting it on top of other stuff. And I'm like, what the fuck did you just say to me, ma'am? What did you just... No, don't put multiple things on top of things on your desktop. Delete some of it or store it, you massive idiot. Once we went to OneDrive, it made it so much better. Drive crashes, thank God it's still on the server. Exactly. OneDrive's amazing. Cloud storage in general is amazing. I recommended it to a few friends like close to 2 years ago now, and like a month after I recommended it to them, they had a power surge that just took out one of their computers. And because they'd backed it all up to the cloud beforehand, they didn't lose anything. They got to keep it all. And I'm just like, yeah, I did that. I saved them. Yeah. I was real happy about that. Yeah, it boggles the mind sometimes, things that people run into. But what if I need it? You then go to the server and get it. Make your folders like a smart person. Yeah, Jesus. But thinking about things things these days that us older folks understand, us venerated and wise individuals understand, is that the younger generation just does not get. This is going to be a little bit of age shaming, but like, I've absolutely run into people who are just like, what do you mean Adobe is going to charge me a cancellation fee for my annual subscription? I'm like, yes, that's what happens when you get on a contract. That's what happens when you get on a contract. There's an early cancellation fee. That's how contracts work. Did you not read your contract? Clearly they didn't. But like, some people are just like, and I remember seeing a thing for like a couple months ago where people were like leaving Adobe Creative Cloud en masse, and people were complaining about it's too hard. They make it impossible. They use what do they call it? Dark patterns to try and prevent us from being able to unsubscribe. And I'm like, you dumb motherfuckers, it's not that hard. You go to adobe.com, you sign in, you go to your account page, you find the subscription button, and you fucking cancel it. It's not hard. I had to look a little bit for like the cancellation fee like details, but otherwise it's not that hard. You're just dumb. A great thing about OneDrive is it's always with you, and it's your desktop too. Yeah, my work configured desktop documents and downloads to always be OneDrive backed up because they just ran into too many problems. We dropped Adobe and kept it around to get more and more BS. Picked up Nuance, Kofac, or whoever owns it now. Yeah, like Adobe is the industry standard, but I think the thing recently is also a bit of an entertaining thing. So there was a thing like last month, the month before, where people noticed language Adobe had in its terms of service, or terms and conditions maybe even, where it's like, you grant us perpetual, irrevocable, worldwide ability to like do all this stuff with your content. And people were freaking the fuck out about like, oh my God, this is them. They're doing the AI master plan. They're coming for you. They're coming for you. But I've been around long enough to see people freak out about the exact same line of dialogue multiple times. And it's like Twitter and Instagram. It's social media, guys. A site that says you're granting, by uploading it, you're granting them long-term, irrevocable access to your media content is basically saying you're uploading an image to Twitter and you're going to allow Twitter to do and be Twitter. That's all it is. They're not doing anything sinister with it. They're just trying to beat Twitter. The fact that they're not very good at being Twitter is a different matter, but that has more to do with the current management. Oh my God. But yeah, I've seen that like a couple times now, where the Adobe thing came up, and that was a little bit of like why I was thinking about getting rid of Adobe, and then I obviously remembered like, oh yeah, this language is nothing dangerous. But it got me thinking, like, I paid for Adobe months ago. I've never used it at all. I've never even sat through the tutorials on how to use it. I don't know how to use this thing, and I have no idea when I will actually learn how to use this thing. Why should I pay for this anymore? So I basically, I paid for the first 4 months, because I paid for it individually for that. And then I had 8 months left, and I had to pay like half of that as the cancellation fee. And I'm like, yeah, that's fine. I paid for 4 months while I had access to it. I paid 4 months as the cancellation fee, and I get 4 months worth of money back. That's fine. Like, but I saw people like try to come up with the craziest plans to get out of having to pay the cancellation fee. But like, okay, switch it from your credit card to your PayPal. Then go to PayPal and remove all your credit cards. And then cancel Adobe, then it'll go to PayPal and try and charge you, but then you delete your PayPal account. Like, it's like, what? Just pay the money, you idiots. Like, it's $100, maybe $150. Like, it's not that bad. Like, I don't. People will go to incredible lengths to avoid spending even a little bit of money on something, and it is as staggering as it is at times pathetic. And it's just a lot. It's just so fucking extra. I feel like that's a lot of the AI art crowd too, because they will spend so much time and effort to just avoid learning how to draw or paying somebody to make the drawing for them. And it's actually a bit of a relevant thing for me. I had a YouTube video go live this week, which also I have a YouTube channel. Check me out there. I had a YouTube video go live this week from a couple weeks back when I was playing a whole bunch of demos. I did like a 6-hour stream. I played 5 different game demos, and there was one I was playing at the time called Stream or Die with an exclamation mark at the end. And when I was finishing up with the game and shutting that down to play the next one, I had that kind of a vibe in that of like, the art in the game within the game, like some of those assets look like AI art. I need to look into this. Well, I found out, according to Steam, there's actually like a post there that somebody pointed out, like AI art is pervasive through this thing. Like all of the images of the game within a game are AI art. And even some of the stuff of like the real world part of the game is also AI art. Like people's hands are messed up and stuff like that. So just they were cutting corners and doing that. But my VOD for that stream finally went live this past Monday. And I was looking at it on Sunday because I was uploading new content. And I saw I had copyright challenges on the video. And I'm like, what is this? And I had 2. Both of which for music. Both of which from Stream or Die. And I'm like, what the heck is this? So either... Well, not either, because I think it's like a couple of options. So either... They have a license to the music and just told a company to just challenge people all the time on that. So they're basically dinging people who upload videos of their own demo, which by the way is dumb. Don't do that to people. They're going to hate your game. Or they didn't license the music properly. They just found something on the internet and used it, and they didn't care about the licensing at all. And people are correctly challenging the legal copyright usage of this music just for my dumbass, not for the developers. Or I know it's a rarity and that it didn't really take off the way art did, but there is AI generated music. And the reason why it didn't take off very well is because it had a tendency to really set off the systems checking for music copyright on stuff, because AI is essentially collaging things. It's not original. It's not creating anything. It's just collaging. And if they used AI images, they might have also used AI audio, which means the whole reason I could have gotten copyright challenges on this is because the fucking audio files they used are these copyright triggering fucking AI stuff, which is so stupid. It's so dumb. So unnecessarily dumb. And I'm like, you know what? It's probably 3. It's probably 3. When I posted that VOD to social media this week, I absolutely included information like, yeah, also copyright challenges for this, also pervasive AI art. I'm not buying this game. I'm not buying it at all. It's a neat concept. It had parts that I liked, but I'm not spending money on this thing. It's just kind of a waste. So yeah, I am a strong opponent of AI generated content. Art, I like artists. Artists are cool. Artists make cool stuff that makes me happy. So I'm gonna stand up for the artists and defend them. And then for any of the text AI stuff, motherfuckers, I was a writer. I don't want this shit coming for me. I don't want people thinking that, oh, we can be just as good as Deus if we dump all of his stuff into a machine and print out more Deus. I'd be like, listen here, you creepy sons of bitches. No! Yeah, it is such a weird ride or die place for some people, and I'm hoping it goes away eventually. Like, there's gonna still be niches for it, because like there's still niches for like cryptocurrency. There's still niches for NFTs. They're not as prevalent as they were before, but like there are some very small like cliques that are still into it. I'll be so fucking happy when this AI art shit goes away. Artists are great. Fan art is... Yeah, I agree. Like, respect your artists, respect your fan artists. I'm gonna actually write this out because of the ad break. But yeah, it's people make cool stuff. Be cool with that. Which actually, I got a funny story for y'all from Twitter actually today that I'll tell once we get back from this ad break, because I want people to be able to hear this, because it's as silly as it is like ridiculous, and it's so, it's a whole thing. My God. I'm actually going to do a bit of a stretch. Just taking a nice moment to relax, chill, and be a bit zen about life. Good old Daily Show moment of zen. Sometimes you gotta slow down and just let life be a little bit more relaxed and easy. Probably shouldn't do it on stream, but I don't know. That's also a worthwhile way to lead by example. Yay, the ad break's over. So while the ad break was happening, I remembered another story to share from Twitter, and it's about AI art and stuff, so I wanted to share it. So I was following an account. There's a VTuber I've been following for a while, and she retweeted or quote retweeted somebody who was basically calling an artist out, claiming that their art was AI art. And they basically said, like, no, this isn't AI art. I've commissioned this person several times. I've seen their sketches. Like, they're actually doing the art. Additionally, all of the examples you're using to challenge them on this are their sketch commissions, which are not done. They're not a full rendering. So, like, they're not trying to be full-blown art. So they literally don't render the hands that clearly. Because them really, like, picking apart the hands. And, like, the hands look weird to them. And they spent all this time and effort like shouting down this person, and did like a three tweet thread. And I just went into the top one. I went into the account that was talking about this, and I'm like, okay, created January 2024. It's like 300 following 300 with 500 followers. They have a link to Twitch, and I clicked through to Twitch, and it was like 17 followers, no recent VODs. No clips, no highlights. And I went back and I'm just like, yeah, I looked into that account and that account looks sus as fuck. I think it's just some angry V-tweeter attempting to score points by just creating drama. No. They're just full of shit. And I'm happy with myself for noticing that. Oh, hey, I caught that Pokemon. Nice. But yeah, that was just kind of a funny thing. And I was actually chatting with that VTuber, but not the one that was doing the call out. I blocked them right away because I'm like, nope, you're just a mess. I'm blocking you. I'm blocking you and moving on with my life. But the one that quote retweeted, I was chatting with her a little bit. And I'm like, yeah, I noticed all this. She's just like, oh my god, I didn't even look. Wow. And I'm like, yeah, it's super sus. That account did not look on the level. So, yeah, that happens sometimes. People just have accounts and they just I don't know quite what they're trying to do with VTubing. Like, I think some of them are legitimately planning to premiere at some point, but they just kind of don't know what to do. So they're just perpetually in that phase of trying to build up support for themselves. And then they just kind of never go past it. Which is sort of like, yeah, at some point you just have to rip the Band-Aid off and actually start streaming. Because you can't wait for things to be perfect. You absolutely should not wait for a full-price Live 2D model to be done to start streaming. Because so many people I've seen do that just quit. And it's sad that they spend hundreds or even thousands of dollars on these beautiful models that they never use. They never use. Like, I've been streaming for more than 3 years now. I was doing PNG tubing for like a year and a half. And this Live 2D model that I'm using right here is just from January of this year. This is the most... This is my nicest upgrade. And I intentionally got something that's kind of pixelated and fun like this. Because I'm like, yeah, sure, this is fun and neat and cute. And it's not super expensive, so I can play with it and see if I like it. Before I go and spend real money on things. So, real money is going to be the next purchase, the next upgrade. Started off with a model that a friend made. That works too. That works great. Honestly, if you're doing PNG models, there's a lot of like basic ones or like your character here ones that you can use. And, you know, if you sign up for like not sign up for, but like log into commission platforms like VGen, I've seen people on VGen offering custom PNG tuber models, like fully customized models for less than $200. And it's everything you need. And that is very accessible to the field and industry. I was actually chatting with somebody else last week, I think, where they were talking about how people were bemoaning how expensive it was to get into VTubing. And I was just saying to them, like, it's expensive if you want to go into it at the level of like a top quality VTuber or a corpo VTuber right off the bat from day one. Like, you don't need a full price Live 2D model to start VTubing. You don't need custom backgrounds. The stuff I've been using here, I bought this stuff like, actually, you know what? I'm going to look this up. When did I buy this? I bought this June of 2022, I think. Yeah, June of 2022. I bought this overlay pack. It's not a custom pack. It is a like bundled pack that somebody made. And I'm like, well, it's gaming oriented. It's got pleasant colors. It's got like cool things that I can do with it. It's got transitions. It has, I'm going to just shift over to this at one point. I'm not going to do anything with it, but like, where was it? Like, I built this overlay with it where it looks like I'm actually playing a game on the Switch. Like, this was $15. $20 at most. And I've been using it for 2 years. And it still looks good. Like, that's a value. And they had a bunch of options. Like, they had a bunch of things that were like game specific. Like, they had like a Hollow Knight one and I think a Stardew Valley one that were like very cute, and if you're going to be like focusing exclusively on those games, they would have been great. But they also had just some like generic ones that were like they tended to lean a little bit more towards girly than what would have been my preference. But like they had a lo-fi one that looked like you were in a cafe that like I really liked. They had one that was this cool arcade one. Like I was down to like, when I was making my choice, I was down to this Switch one here that I'm using, or the lo-fi one that they had that looked like a cafe, or an arcade one. That's like a full classic arcade with like neon lights and colors. And I eventually went with this one. But yeah, it's like Sean Reel's saying here, it's simple, it's clean, it's effective, it looks good, and it's easy to put together because they have like pre-built overlays that I don't use. This overlay you're seeing here with the buttons and all that stuff, I put all that stuff together and I arranged it using the tools and assets they provided me. Like they have pre-built stuff if you want to use that, and they have stuff that you can just put together the pieces and make your own for how you want to use it. Like this one here, I have the social stuff at the top because it was getting in the way on the bottom and doing other things. And for other ones, I have the social stuff at the bottom because I was using something else at the top. Like, yeah, it's not hard to do. It's not. You just have to do it. So VTubing is very accessible. What makes it inaccessible is the level of your own over enthusiasm for it. And it's hard not to do that. I do understand where people are coming from, because I've definitely seen some of the big VTubers out right now, and they debut with these gorgeous models. Like even indie ones debut with these gorgeous models that cost thousands of dollars, and people are like, oh, I want to be like them. And that's not an unfair thing to want. Like, we all look up to that. But every single one of them that debuts with a model of that quality was doing some kind of content creation beforehand. I know that. In some cases, I followed them before they VTubed. And I'm like, yeah, no, I know this person from their ASMR videos. I know this person from this other content that they made. Not a damn one of them sunk 10 grand of their own money into a model if they could not spare 10 grand. They just didn't. And like, you shouldn't either. Like, that's not a thing you should do. You'd love to make your own layout someday? Yeah, I'd do it. Like, I'm kind of gonna be going through like a bit of a redesign for my 3rd generation model pretty soon, because my 1st gen was just like a very simple PNG tuber thing that I got somebody to make online. I used it for like 6 months to a year before I replaced it with something else, which was the 2nd generation model, which is the design that I'm using right now is the 2nd gen model, like the hoodie with the jacket and the jean pants. It's also the one that has my my suit design. It also has like the summer design. I'm counting all of that as like 2nd gen because it was the same base artist that made all of the designs. And 3rd gen, I'm getting another artist to do like an actual proper design of it. Like, I gave them my ideas of what I wanted and said like, okay, this is what I want. This is what you are not allowed to change. These are things you can wiggle with, but this is why I have them that way. What do you think you can make with that? And I'm going to find out their answer over the course of the next 2 months, because I should be up in the commission queue. Because, yeah, and I am looking forward to it. I'm really, really excited to see what they do with my requests. And once that's done, I finally can start doing some guilt-free commissions again, because I've been sitting on that, just chomping on the bit, wanted to do commissions, and I'm like, oh, this art would be so good. This would be so good. That would be so good. and I had to like sit on my hands. I saw somebody yesterday like tweeting about like, oh, I've got commissions right now and they're on sale, and I'm like, hold yourself back, Deus. Hold yourself back. I know it's a sale. I know it's a bargain. You don't have a design yet. Stop yourself. Oh my goodness. But yeah, it's the things I want to do. The things I want to do with this account and with what I'm hopefully working on. And it's going to be some good stuff coming up. I do have one thing in the works that should be hopefully done sooner rather than later. Let me actually check what the due date is for this one. Okay. Sometime in the next 30 days, I should have a new widget for goals on Twitch here. I did put in a request for that. The due date for that is near the beginning of August. So I should have that back by then. And then I have like the big like design process one. That should be the end of August, I think. What's the date on that one actually? August 31st for that one. Yeah, so end of August. So yeah, once that one comes in at the end of August, that's when I can start talking to like model designers to make the model. I can start talking to fan artists to do that. I actually was talking about trying to figure out an art tag for myself because I don't have one and I would like one. I would like art tag, please. I don't have any great ideas. Let me actually bring this up because I talked about like maybe doing, not talked about, but I thought about maybe doing like a stream for like content tags. I couldn't find one for art that I really liked for like regular art. Because stuff was either taken already or like it's just kind of dumb. I found one here that's like artificial Deus. Like, no, like it's not great. I unfortunately figured out an amazing one for NSFW art, which I'm not going to be commissioning much of. But like, that was Deus Ex Autica. Like Deus Ex Machina, but Deus Exotica. Like, well, it's not. It's kind of like a pun of like erotica, but still, like I'm proud of that one. The best pun I've come up with so far is if I ever do ASMR content, DSMR. DSMR wrote itself. Love that one. Love that one. But dear God, I need an art tag. And I need to start sharing the things that I got made from artists and like then like tweeting them and retweeting them because that's content. It also saves me the trouble of like having to like make a video that day or always produce content. I can just be like, no, I'm just gonna reshare some old stuff because I have old stuff, and why wouldn't I share it? So probably need to do more of that because like I keep trying to make everything new and fresh and things. And I don't always, it's a bit exhausting trying to keep up with the Joneses for content creation. Damn catchy. I know that DSMR one is great. That one's perfect. But yeah, the art ones are just not good. Because the problem is anything I think up, I am also like searching on Twitter to be like, is anybody else using this? Crap, they are. And it's I don't want to use something that people are already using. Huh. Interesting. This one's fairly... Not super happy with this one either, though it is a fairly unused tag. Hey, I caught the Among Us. Nice. No, that's not going to be possible to spell. I forgot there was a Pokemon called Among Us. Yeah, I recognize the name because apparently it's really good in like professional play, like competitive professional Pokemon play. And I was watching a few videos where the guy was specifically talking about the competitive scene with Pokemon, and I remember Among Us being mentioned several times. Yeah, I'd love to use the tag Deus Art, but that apparently is used by an artist already.
Yes.
I mean, Deus VT Art works. Certainly better than the other ones I have. It's not punny, but, you know. Crap. Do that. But yeah, sorry. This is my good old ADHD brain getting a wee bit distracted right now. It happens at times. But yeah. Oh my goodness, the sits and the sleeps. Artius, Day Art. Yeah, I looked for Deus Art and somebody was using it. If I did a search for Deus VT Art, and that seemed to be fine. I didn't see anything there. Artius, I could see people using it. Day Art. I mean, Day Art's not bad, actually. Is Day Art available? Day Art is available. I have to check this one. I figured that one would be in use. With all the frustration I'm having finding a tag, I'm like, is anybody using the hashtag goddamn art? Apparently yes. But yeah, unsurprising. That one's way too common to not be used for something. But yeah, so that's kind of my thoughts of what I'm working towards for like a Gen 3 debut, which is definitely not going to be until next year at the very least, because it's taking 2 months for the character design, and then actually getting the model made will take a couple of months. Getting the model rigged will take a couple more months. So, you know, I've got time to figure some things out, but it gonna be a little bit. It's gonna be a little bit. So, I've got time to figure it out. It's just, when the brain wants to go, 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 it can be very frustrating when life is like, no, 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 sit and wait. Sit and wait. Wait your turn. Wait your turn, child. But yeah. Let me think what else I've got up in the works now. Because yeah, big work thing is just trying to get off of that contract. Trying to get out of like my work contract and get brought in as a full-time associate, which should come with a pay raise, and I'm looking forward to that. So that stuff should basically go into effect. I mean, if everything goes right, it should be the end of August when the model design is done, and then should, like I said, like end of August, I should have the design for the model done. I can start doing fan art. I can start reaching out to people about doing the live 2D. So that'll be a thing worth looking forward to. That's a lot. Yeah. And that's just two things. Like, I've got regular life stuff to do too. I definitely need to give my apartment a good cleaning. That has been on the list for a while, and it has just not happened at all. Pay raise, yeah. Yeah, I actually had a better paying job like beginning of last year, but I was just miserable and unhappy there, and I quit and just went straight from that job to unemployment, and that was scary. But I'm so glad I did it, because I was just tremendously unhappy there. And man, I went out guns blazing, and they will remember my name in that place. Not fondly. I took no prisoners at the end. So, that's my once in a lifetime, no, go fuck yourself moment. And yeah. And then I got a new job, and I'm like, okay, need to behave myself here and not give them shit for what the last job did to me. Which is a very important thing. Like, a big part of like what I worked on when I was between jobs was, I'm like, okay, last job messed me up a little bit. I need to make sure I keep seeing my counselor even at a loss, you know, even as an expense, because I need to make sure my head is screwed on well enough to when I go to the next job, that I'm not going to take last job out on them, because they don't deserve it, and I'm going to get fired if I do. So, yeah. Made sure to take care of myself. And that's a big thing, like, VTubers I hear struggle with, is like work-life balance and taking care of themselves. And it is very hard not to just try and do everything all at once. Try not to just jump into the hype and jump into the energy, because the unfortunately the industry will absolutely reward that. The problem is you're borrowing against your future, and at some point your body will tap out. What the condition is at that time, it varies. You are not nearly as invincible as your youth tells you that you are. I will say that. And even things like just staying up too late too many nights in a row, that will bite you. You will feel it. It'll take a while, but once you start feeling it, oh. Self-care is always needed, though sometimes ignored. I feel like it's often ignored. Like, yeah, it just is. And there's a lot of like worry in the community too, that like if I leave, will people forget about me if I come back? And I've had a couple streamers like take long hiatuses and then come back to just their communities being like, yes, more stream. Like, we're just hyped to have them come back. But I've had people, they're like, oh God, if I take a 2-week break, do you think everyone will forget about me? And I'm like, you dumb, no, we won't. We're not going to forget about you in 2 weeks. It's fine. Take your vacation. Silly. Silly, but also it's fear, so it's not entirely unconcerned. Like, I get where they're coming from, but also that's just the brain being crazy. And the brain likes to be crazy. It gets up to trouble that way. And yeah, take your breaks, take care of yourself. One of the best advice I heard from anybody was, you have to take care of yourself before you take care of anyone else. And if you're a streamer, you're taking care of your community. And you can't do that if you're running on empty. You just can't. So, make sure you get enough rest. Make sure you eat food. Preferably good food that's healthy for you. But for some people, even eating anything in a day is a challenge. You know, do it. Take care of yourself. Make time for this. These are the things that will help you. Absence make the heart grow fonder. No, food absence makes you lose way too much weight and grow weak and sickly. Don't do that. But no, I mentioned a little bit earlier that I have like ADHD. I don't really have the hyperactivity side of it. I mostly just have like the squirrel brain attention span side of it. And for the last couple weeks, I've really been struggling with focus at work in the afternoon. So today I tried a new thing where I'm like, you know what? Let me do a workout at lunchtime. I've got time. I usually just chew through my lunch super fast. I've got like a video I'm going to watch. Let me just lift some weights. I've got some free weights at home. I'll just lift some weights this lunchtime. And tried it. Didn't help super much. But, you know, maybe it will. Maybe in the end that'll be a good habit to build. Because I've definitely done workouts at lunch before at different jobs and locations. So it's a thing to try. If I can get rid of some of that energy to help me focus. Especially since the first thing I do when I come back from lunch is have a nice hot cup of tea with caffeine in it. And that probably isn't helping my focus much either. I have a full belly, I'm very eepy, and I'm caffeinated. Work ain't getting done. Oh, man. But it is what it is. And it's a little bit funny. But yeah. I've got a couple of things I need to look at now. I actually was talking to somebody about maybe doing some clips for me for stuff. I need to actually talk to them and like give them a project to work on because their prices seem fairly reasonable. It's just a matter of I need to work with them on that. So yeah, we'll see. I should send them an email. I forget how I'm even supposed to like contact them for it. Did they even say how to do the work? They have like, these are the types. Oh, there's like a button for business email. That's probably how. Ooh, a mystery office. But yeah, just interesting, cool things to work on that would help me and help my brand. And honestly, I probably should do more of these like actual like video editor stuff and like actually talk to more editors because it's a side of VTubing I'm not good at and I know I'm not good at. And like finding a way to outsource that to people that makes my life easier will make my life easier. So like, yeah, I got a full daytime job. Oh, hey, people liked my thing that I said. Someone's hiding their responses. Who be you? Hey, I caught the Mr. Avis. Nice. But yeah, kind of nice to see people validating my opinion on things. Because there was that story from earlier that I was saying that, where I said, like, hey, this person raising a fuss about AI art, like, their account's, like, barely 6 months old. They have nothing on Twitch to indicate that they've ever streamed. And they have, like, less than 20 followers. They probably don't stream. They probably just complain about things on Twitter. Yeah. And people are like, yeah, no, I agree with all of this. I'm like, yes. I like making good points and having people agree. Oh, man. Why is it that when things get, like, nice and cool, I get so sleepy? Like, I'm fine for most of the day, and then I sit in my chair, and I relax a little bit, and the room's nice and cozy, and the fan blows this nice cool breeze of air across me, and I'm just like, oh, is now nap time? And I'm like, no, now it's stream time. Any tips to budding streamers that you could have heard when you first started? It varies a little bit depending on, like, what you're struggling with. Definitely networking. Like, it's one thing to go it alone in the streaming space. Find other streamers, chat with them, interact. However you want to do your networking, do it. Talk to people. It will make this entire process a lot less lonesome, which is the thing I hear even big creators talk about. But also just in general, like, a bunch of the people that show up in my streams now are people that I've met as other streamers or through other streamers. And those are the people that hang out and keep me company and keep me motivated to create content and interact with stuff, because I haven't blown up yet. But I have other people show up and be supportive of me because they like me and they care about me and because I treat them well and show them respect. So networking. Number one thing you can do. And there are ways to do it that are like, this is just going to be business. And you can maybe build a relationship out of that. There are people I've seen, though, who just want to be friends and they don't want to do business things at all. And that's fine too. Just make sure you communicate that clearly with people. But yeah, networking fixes a lot of problems that you have with, like, the isolation that you feel from VTubing. Networking means that people are going to show up and watch your streams and watch your clips and things like that. Like, there are streamers that I follow close enough that, like, every time their videos go live on YouTube, I will pop it open and I will give them a like. I can't always watch it. I can't give them watch time because I got other stuff to do, but I will give them that like. And it's because I know them and they talk to me and we have a relationship that we've built over time, and they're good people. So, yes. Yeah, otherwise, I kind of did a lot of, like, the stuff. I tried to avoid a lot of the problems I heard myself, like, because they're like, the problem of like, whenever I never got around to starting streaming. Like, I just did it at some point, and like, it was scary, and I didn't feel comfortable with it at first. I feel better with it now, but I'm still not great. But like, just rip the Band-Aid off. Just do it. Just do it. It's like that Shia LaBeouf meme. Just do it. But yeah, you don't need to wait for everything to be perfect. It's scary. I was awkward my first time. Yeah, that happens. It's like any job. You're not going to be as good on your first day as you're going to be. You're not going to be as good on the start of your first day as you're going to be at the start of your second year. You are going to learn, you are going to grow, which means you're going to not be as good as you want to be at the start of it. And you have to be okay with that. If you aren't okay with that, if you can't figure out how to be okay with that, you're going to burn out so hard. Like I was actually doing a series of collabs with another streamer by the name of Dan the Draconian, which I'm actually going to shout them out here. Come on. Oh, they're playing Zenless Zone Zero. Nice. Good for them. I've heard good things about that game. But Dan and I were doing a just chatting collab, talking about like news and events and things like that. And I was talking about like something I saw on Twitter that somebody was basically saying like, I've been streaming for 3 months and I thought I'd be so much further along by now. I'm thinking of quitting because I'm not as big as like the big indie corporate VTubers. I'm not anywhere close. I'm like, who thinks they're going to be at that level in their first 3 months of streaming? Like, no one is going to be that good. Like, even the corpos aren't that good in their first 3 months because they lie. And they're like, oh, I just started streaming. I'm just fresh off the farm. No, they've been doing content creation for a long time before they got that job. That's how they got that job, usually. They've been doing it for before. So, yeah, like you're not going to be at the level you want to be when you first start, and you need to be okay with that in order to allow yourself an opportunity to grow. You basically have to try before you can actually ever get good.
Yes.
So, but yeah, check out Dan. Dan's good people. I think he's also got like a new model debut coming up soon too. So, really happy for him. Oh my goodness. What's funny? The funniest thing to me, I'm super sleepy now. When it's going to come to bedtime, my brain's going to just be like, let's run a marathon. And I'm like, no, brain, no. It always fucking happens that way. But it's fine though. How about yourself, Sean Real? Is there any advice you would give to new streamers that you wish you had heard when you started? Turn that question around back at you. I'm gonna give Sean Real a minute here to think about their answer and write it down. Let me think of what else to talk about while we do that. Just enjoy what you stream. That's great advice. I still remember one of my favorite games I ever streamed was Triangle Strategy. It's a tactics game. Fantastic game. Very well done. But I only allowed myself to play the game on stream night. I was not allowed to play it any other night. And stream night for Triangle Strategy was Mondays. And that meant I woke up Monday morning and I popped out of bed and I'm like, it's Triangle Strategy Day. And it put such a pep in my step the whole day. And that game was so good it made Mondays good. And yeah, play games that you're excited about. Like if you want to chase one of the popular games for a meme to do just like a one-off stream, that's fine. Don't hyper commit to something that you're not sure you're going to like. Absolutely do things you enjoy, because you're going to be doing it all the time. And if you don't, like, if you think you need to be a League of Legends player to do well as a streamer, one, you're wrong, and two, don't do that if you don't like League of Legends. Play something you like. Yeah. John Reel's got great advice there. That's great. Out of curiosity, since you said you played Triangle Strategy, what ending did you get when you played the first time? I ended up going with Benedict's ending. So I got to keep Benedict and I can't remember my wife's name. I want to call her Serafina, and I know that's not right. Frederica. So I got to keep Benedict and Frederica, and I let go of the prince. You chose Frederica's ending for the first playthrough? A lot of people I know chose that ending. I did not like that one from like the concept of how it was explained to me. Because the way people explained it, they're like, no, you're just going to take everybody and leave. I'm like, yeah, you don't take everybody. You leave behind, like, you take all of your forces, all of your allies, all of your named characters, and then you break out all the slaves from the terrible kingdom that's enslaving them. And then you all get in a boat and leave. And Benedict's whole grievance with that whole process is, but then you're leaving all of the normal citizens of your country behind. It's been your family's job to look after these people, and you're leaving them behind to get caught between two warring factions, and they're going to die. Also, you're going to have a huge ass target painted on your back if you do this. And he was right. Like, that is exactly what we did, and we absolutely did leave a huge target on our back. But it's a pretty dramatic one. It's not as dramatic as the fucking Roland ending of like, you know what? Yeah, I know I've got a girlfriend who's a Roselle, and we're gonna get married. But yeah, let's join up with the religious empire that believes her people should be slaves. I'm sure that won't possibly end badly. Like, oh, I don't think I've known anyone who's chosen that as their first ending. I think it makes no sense narratively to go that route. Like, Roland is just talking out of his ass at that moment, and the fact that that's an optional, that's an actual ending, is just ridiculous because it's so bizarrely out of character for him. Other than just he's just like trying to push off any obligation he has as a king. And he is trying to take out Ace Frost, which makes sense, but at the same time, he's just terrible.
Yes.
But there's that, and I actually got close to getting the golden ending. I triggered it once, and then I realized you had to make 3 split parties. You couldn't reuse units, and I had no opportunity to level units after the split. You chose the least likable one first and built up to the most likable one. That works. I chose my favorite one the first time, and then I was trying for the golden ending the second time, And that's basically when I stopped playing, was I had to grind up a bunch of levels in order to be able to do the Golden Path ending, and I didn't care enough. I was just kind of bored of the game by that point. Yeah, that was tricky for me. Yeah, the Golden Path is not an easy ending to get, because you need to know all the right things to do. Though I almost got it the first time. I made 2 mistakes. I used the oil traps in town when I had the opportunity, and you need to leave those alone. And I did everything else right up until you get that triple ending. That triple choice for where you want to go, and you can stay in the city with Roland, or you can go back to see your father who woke up from his coma, or you can go to the Roselle. And I went to the Roselle the first time. And that's not the Golden Path. You've got to go back to see your father. That's the only way to get to the Golden Path. But yeah, aside from that, fantastic game. I actually met a friend through that. Because one of the things I used to do more often than I do these days, I still do it a little bit, is I like track hashtags on Twitter for like streamers and content creators, and like I will pay attention to who's posting what in those tags, and if I like them and if I see them playing games that I enjoy, I will follow them and start interacting with them. And that's absolutely how I've met some people. And it works. Like, I vet them first. And I kind of like decide, okay, you going to be chill or not? You can be chill and cool, or you're going to not be chill and cool. And a lot of them have been cool. It's one of the ways I do networking. Though I haven't done it much lately. Mostly I just see bot accounts posting garbage. And yeah, that's not fun when that shows up.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm actually looking at it now, and there's a couple VTubers there, but it's like a lot of like regular live streamers. Like I said, the bot accounts are going strong. That's interesting. Somebody showing the idea for somebody's VTuber model, and it starts off with almost like a plushie doll VTuber, but then it's like got like an eldritch monster inside of it, and that's interesting. They should have a really cool design. You met a lot of awesome people here despite me being introverted. So many VTubers are introverted, which I think works a bit in our favor, because we just want to stay the hell home, which allows us to keep working. You just kind of have to train yourself to have some extroverted tendencies along the way in order to be able to like actually do the things you need to do. But for the most part, yeah, it's a job that really does favor people who just want to not go out and party, not go out and socialize with a lot of people. You need to be able to stay home and do the work. And extroverts do not want to stay home and do that work. They wish to do other things. They wish to go out. So is good job for introverts, but also is job introverts twitching and screaming. Oh man. Let's see here. So audio. Okay, I don't see it there. Oh, that's a neat design that somebody's posted. Keck for real, for real. Yeah.
Yes.
Now, we are about at the 2-hour mark, and I'm judging by the silence. I think that my brain is a bit done with talking for the night. So let's try and find somebody to raid. I saw a few people were signed in that I'm like, oh, that's nice. Here's a good boy to raid. Let's try and raid him. Is it gonna let me? Yes, it is. So we are going to raid Professor Nemo, Director Nemo, and they are nice bean. They are a good person. They are watching videos now. I recommend the director. He is good. He is good. What ears does he have tonight? Says this boy can yip. Or can yap. Yeah, not. I confused yip and yap again. That's gonna be the death of me. But no, Nemo's good people. So show up, treat him nice, and tell him I said hi. My next stream will be Saturday at 12 Eastern, and we're gonna be playing more Tavern Talk. So I will see everybody later. Have a good rest of your morning, afternoon, evening, night, wherever it is in your part of the world. Take care, everybody.